Hi, uh, this is a quick tutorial on how to assemble medium size petal number 21. I already have a video of this particular petal design, but I think the orientation of my phone when I was filming it was a portrait instead of horizontal. So I'm redoing it. So this is what you need, the basics. You need your petals. You need your petals here. I will discuss the sizing later. Basically, you have 3 different layers with 6 petals per layer. So you have your 3 sizes dowel rod that we are going to use later for curling. And we have our hot glue gun and stick glue. And I have my scissors. And we have our 2 component templates. These are my favorite. These are my to-go centers, because one thing, it's easier to cut compared to the floppy center. At the same time, it has volume and layers on it. You know, it's not just like it's a flat center and it's flat. It has layers on it and it has volume. So these 2 components, you can check this. You can check out. Just go to my Etsy shop and search center. You will find this 2 in there. And also, I have here, I have a half styrofoam ball that I cut in half, and then I cover it with white glue, and then I hold it with a toothpick, and then dab it with, you know, glitters in a container, and I let it dry. I try to set it overnight before using it, so it's not that messy. So let's set this one aside. Let's focus on our petals. So as I said, we're going to make a medium size petal number 21. I have 3 layers here, and when you're going to buy templates from me, whether it's PDF or SVG, majority of the paper flower design that I have has 6 different sizes. It's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or mostly it's A, B, C, D, E, and F. So when you're going to make a large paper flowers, I would recommend either use the A, B, C, D. Also, you can make a 5-layer flower, A, B, C, D, E. Or, just like this medium size, we will just use the C, D, E, or 3, 4, and 5. So, when you're going to make a small flower also, I would recommend to use the 5 and the 6, or E or F. So, there goes our sizing. And when we are going to use a base for medium flower, I would recommend that we will use a 3 inches base. So I don't know if you're familiar with this one. It's like a cup. It's like, you know, a cup holder. I got this one from Amazon. It's a disposable one. It's much thicker, as you can see. This is what I use, especially, you know, with paper flowers that I put on my wall, that the guest has intention to, you know, remove it and give it away to the people or to their guests, because this is very thick. Even though you would rip up the back, still there's enough thickness of this board that would really hold your still hold your flower together. So here's our base. This is a 3 inches. Let's set this one aside, and let's focus to our petals. So if you haven't already, you need to cut slit. I already cut mine. So if you have it already, you need to cut a slit in the middle of your petals. I cut mine six sheets at a time, so that you'll have the same, you know, depth of slit on all the layers that you have, and also my smaller one. So the principle of making the slit, as you have noticed, the largest flower has the deepest slit, meaning it would lay to your base, or it will lay flatter to your from your base compared to the smaller ones. As you go smaller, your slit also becomes shallower. So that's the principle of putting a slit. So the next thing that we are going to do, I'm just making it in hurry because I already have prepared petals for this. First thing is, you get 3 petals at a time. So on this particular paper flower design, what we are going to do is one side outward and one side inward. So let's pretend that we already did all 6. So the next thing, we are using, by the way, the largest dowel rod among the 3 selection that I have right now, because that was my largest petal. To the second layer, I'm using the second largest dowel rod, and just curling one side outward and one side inward. Let's pretend that we already curl 6 petals already. So let's get our third petal, third layer, 3 pieces at a time, using the smallest dowel rod that I have. So one side outward and one side inward, like so. So you have your petals curled. Now what we are going to do is to glue the flaps together to create dimension. So we're gluing it. So let's pretend that we already finished all 6. Let's proceed to our second layer. And finish. Let's pretend that we finish our second layer. Let's proceed to our final layer, the smallest petal. So be very careful. It's really hot. So let's assume that you already done curling, gluing the flaps together. So here are the 6. Here are the complete set of the petals that I already curl and put the flaps together. So let's work on our largest petal first. Let's get our base. So if it happened that you wanted to hang your flowers, I would recommend to use a pipe cleaner, because it's very lightweight. It holds the glue more than just a plain wire, and also, you know, it holds its shape more than some people would use like a string. I don't really like it. Actually, it's personal preference, you know. This is what I want and this is what I share with you. So what we are going to do now, before we lay our petals together, because my client will hang this. This is a project I'm working on though. This is a small set, like 6 pieces set that she would hang on her house. So let's keep it dry. Now we're going to work on our petals. So let's work on first with our petal number 1 on our first layer. Let's just put a glue half of the base, and parallel to the hook, let's lay this one here. So our second petal, again the same thing. We are going to just squeeze half of the base with glue. And let's put the second petal right at the very opposite of our first petal on this layer. So to keep it you know, evenly distributed, that's why I, you know, put it in the same placement. And now let's get 2 more petals of the same layer. The reason why it is open because we're going to snake this here in between, and also the other one. So once you're happy with the placement, you are not placing any glue yet, but you are just eyeing if it's evenly placed around your base already. After that, you can sneak some glue behind the petals like so, and be careful, let it dry for some seconds, and you can close this side and portion here because you're already done with your 2 petals here, the other side. So the next thing is our 2 remaining petals, the same thing we did on the other side. We'll snake this one first, no glue attached yet, so we are just eyeing. If you are, you know, when you buy PDF or even in Cricut, you know, there's a free hexagonal base that you can upload and you can cut. I would recommend, if you are a beginner, a hexagonal base would really be ideal, you know, just to practice or just to make sure that you have a feel of it. So our first layer is done. Let's now proceed to our second layer. So petal number 1, again, just half of the petal has the glue, and we position it or we place it in a staggered way, like in between 2 previous petals. And second petal right at the very opposite of our first one, and then the third. Since we already have an idea where we're going to place our third and fourth, we don't really have to do the way how we did on the first layer. We can just eye it now. Where are we going to sneak the petals? So that's the fourth. The fifth. And the sixth. So now, proceeding to our third and final layer. So 1. So my method of placing my petals is just to make sure that it is evenly distributed. You know, especially if you are using a round base, you know, you really have to do some work on how to keep it look like evenly distributed. So that's the fourth. the fifth, and the final petal. So once it's already there, actually you don't have to have any other center. You can just place this ball here, but because I want it to be more special, I'm adding this one. And then the second piece, we just have to curl this one upward. So that it would create volume and dimension into our center. So once it's done, we can now glue this at a center as we can, and also while it's still hot, we can also place our glittered ball so that it would dry at the same time. So here you are, guys. Here's our petal number 21. It's color gold. By the way, I got this cardstock. It's already gold. It's thick. I think it's 100 pounds cardstock. And what I like about this gold, it's because it's not the yellow gold. It's a yellow metallic gold. So like ore gold. I got this one online from Cut and Cardstock. So thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Until next time, watch out for more and next tutorial I'm gonna be having. Bye.